Hey Aquarius, what's going on? We are starting the reading with Two of Swords and Death, and they both came out together. So you can be like on the fence about the potential of a major change that you would be making. With Two of Swords, we can still feel undecided, like I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. And with Death, it's going to be going through with something. Usually, like, am I ready to trim this? Am I ready to stop this? Am I ready to cut this? Whatever it is. And it's going to be something that you, like, relative to your storyline is going to feel important. So this can be like a whole, I'm not going to be living here anymore. I want to dissolve this contract, or I don't want to be committed to this anymore. I want to break up with them. It's going to be something that feels really big. And it can be something that you are trying to figure out whether you're done with it or not. And I think what this is coming down to is like, do you think that there's still potential for growth? Or do you feel like it's better to disconnect from this or stop it or to close it out? And that the growth that can come from that is going to be so much better and more for you. But you may still be undecided. Like this can be like, I don't know, maybe I still feel like there's some potential here, and what if there's like more progress to be made and growth that can be happening, and like maybe some things can change, and then maybe that would make it worth it for me to keep being in this cycle. You can be thinking like, what if those things don't happen then? Like, is it better that I just end this? Is it better that I just close this out, cut this off, sell this thing? So whatever it is for you, I'm seeing it be like trying to get a read, I think, on whether or not this is finished and whether or not you're supposed to kind of like leave it and go to whatever it is that you're going to next. And like, if you keeping this around is impeding upon your growth and your evolution, so that can be something that's being weighed right now, where you're doing some soul searching and really asking yourself about this. Like, is it time for this to come to an end, or can I kind of like get more from this cycle still? For some of you, it can even be this question of like, do I want to keep doing this or not? But it's having Death, it feels like it's going to be something that feels really, really big, like a big deal within your life. This doesn't feel like a little decision. It feels like something that would feel big and important. So we have Two of Swords, we have Two of Cups, and in between them, we have Death. Twos are going to be connected with choices, feeling like we're at a bit of a crossroads even. Some of you, I'm seeing this has to do with, can be home, living situation, it can be marriage or like serious relationship, where it would be like kind of complicated to close things out. Death is going to be connected with, Death can be connected with 8th house. This card specifically and especially. So 8th house is connected, and Scorpio is also connected with, there's an overlap between the two of them because Scorpio rules the natural 8th house of the birth chart. So Scorpio and the 8th house are connected with like the really big life things that feel monumental. So it's like all of the things that feel like really big deals, that when those things are going through transitions or migrations of some sort, it can feel huge. It's like 8th house is connected with death and with life, with like birth, with funerals, with huge catastrophic events. Anything that's going to feel like it really impacts you in a deep way, where it leaves room for there to be immense evolving. And usually for the most part, when we evolve, it's through these like really prolific experiences that we have. And whether it be something that's like devastating and really difficult, or it be something that's immaculate and amazing and beautiful, like feels like a miracle or feels like devastation, whatever it is, like these are the types of things that like kick up the most intense feelings, and it brings stuff up from within you. It like the Scorpio energy is an energy that will stir things from like the deepest parts of you and bring it up. So this is going to be something that will feel very stirring to you in that type of way, having this here. So it will be something where there can be this feeling of like a gurgling inside you and feeling like something is sort of coming up here. So it's like these can bring up some like very extreme feelings as well, and some very extreme thoughts as well. So it's going to be something like on that major of a scale. So having something feel like a really big decision like that, you can still be definitely on the fence right now. And I think that as far as like from your perspective and where you're coming from with this feels like your agenda moving through this is to make sure that whatever choice you make, you feel like you are hand in hand with yourself. So this is a choice where you, like Two of Cups first and foremost is going to be you making the choice, wanting an outcome where you will feel like you're in a place of equilibrium and cohesion with yourself. Like you are totally fully present for this choice that's being made, and that you are wholly making this choice. Like it is all of your being that's making this choice. It's not like I have to abandon this part of myself to make this choice because it's like not actually in alignment. This is like making sure that this is totally in alignment with you being in flow with yourself, and you making a choice that feels like it aligns with your truth and with your authenticity. So that whatever this is that you're doing, you won't cross the finish line of this and feel like the result is some type of self-abandonment of any sort. Two of Cups is going to be when everything merges and everything comes together and you feel whole and you feel complete. So that is the hope, that the choice that you make, whether it's to stop this or it's to continue, that you are going to feel whole once you cross the finish line, which is the result for this choice that you'd be making. It's kind of like if you were looking at yourself as the person that you cared about most in the entire world and wanted the best things for that person, and like looking at yourself with that type of energy, it's like the advice that you would give to that person and then you follow it. Like, what would you tell somebody to do in this position? Like, as if you're somebody that you love, as if you're somebody that you care about, as if you're somebody that you value and cherish. Like, what advice would you give to them, and what choice would that be? What's best for you? And what's best isn't always what's easiest. That can be something that's coming up as well. And it can be maybe like dealing with the hardship of this and facing that, so that everything's just going to feel like pedaling downhill after that point. You know what this is looking like more and more to me? This is looking like this choice is actually the right choice to be made. Like having death there, it feels very much like everything is pointing towards this needing to close out. Two of Swords feels like needing to actually do it, like needing to actually make the choice, to make the decision, needing to actually take action. I'm getting confirmation of this. To move on, to move forward. But that's where I'm seeing, I like to see, always without fail, like pretty much, the Nine of Wands always to me is like this karmic test that we're going through. And again, like without fail, that's always the way that the energy comes through to me. And having it be connected with Two of Swords, it's like this is going to determine something very big for you, whether or not you're going to make this choice. And it may feel like the most difficult thing for you to do is to close this out. But if you really connect with yourself and you really connect with your truth and you really connect with your divine wisdom here, you know that this is the way to go with this. And that it must be time. And then something is going to be birthed from this, of course. That's how the energy works. One door closes and another door opens. But there can be a lot of deep attachment to this. Like, I'm seeing a whole lifetime of a cycle that's connected with this. And so, like, saying your goodbyes can feel really challenging to do. But if you don't, it's going to come at the cost of you feeling whole within yourself. And is that something that you're willing to sacrifice? Because this is also a sign of you coming together with yourself. So much having to do with choices. I did another reading today that will be coming out today as well. And that had Gemini in it too. Gemini is coming out again. So we have Scorpio and we also have Gemini here. It's going to have to do with a big choice. This can have to do with relationships for sure. It doesn't have to be, but can be. For most of you, probably will be. It's not the only way that the energy can play out. We can have like other big choices that have to be made. It doesn't have to be. It's kind of just like a template. Sometimes it's a relationship, sometimes it's something else. For some of you, there can also be stuff about who you're choosing as a partner. That can be something that's coming up too. Okay, I'm seeing the Ace of Swords here. So we're clear on this now. Two of Swords, Two of Cups, Two of Pentacles, and the Lovers. All cards connected with the choices that we're making, kind of like weighing things. I am seeing Seven of Swords on the bottom of the deck, which Seven of Swords can mean that this was maybe something that you were avoiding dealing with. That's the way that I'm seeing it be. Like, maybe this was something that you didn't want to confront on the emotional front. Like, maybe this was something where you weren't being clear with yourself. Maybe you weren't being totally honest with yourself. Because I'm seeing Seven of Swords, the Chariot, and then also the Sun. So I do feel like at this point you can be seeing things clearly and you can be understanding what you've been feeling, but there could have been ways that you were avoiding exactly that. Just because of feeling scared of what everything meant and like feeling really scared of the unknown and going in that direction, but also like haven't been feeling good, and this is why, because this is something that needs to be done. It's kind of like all of that. So this is going to allow that part to come to an end. And even though immediately this can feel kind of burdensome, everything's going to get better after this. Like, you're not going to be stuck in this space anymore. I see also too that when you close this out, you're going to have a type of clarity that you did not have before. And it just feels like because something has been around that's been... It's like a station that's been playing that hasn't been allowing like the other stations to be playing clearly. And when this is closed out, it feels like it's going to mute that. And then you can hear everything else a lot more clearly. But yeah, because of having all of these choices, there definitely can be something about, I don't know, it can be like, I feel like I either have to choose my relationship or choose myself, but I can't choose both of those things. It can be something like that. Or it can be, I feel like I need to choose this relationship or that relationship. It can be something like that. But it's going to be something where there are like choices that have to be made. And it feels like you can't choose everything and still feel whole within that. It feels like there are certain choices that you can only make if you self-abandon, and there are other choices that you can only make if you don't self-abandon, if you choose not to. And and that you're, of course, being guided in the direction of the choice that's going to leave you feeling whole and integrated and in flow with yourself. And I think it's been like weighing that and kind of figuring out what is going to be decided upon here. What this can mean too is that what you had on your plate can be changing in a way. Certain things can be being taken off of your plate. You may be adding other things or just like prioritizing different things. Something about that is changing too. And I think it also has to do with like the way that you relate to what it is that you're feeling as well, and how you make choices based off of that. Like when we perceive ourselves in a particular way, we may think certain things are important. When we start to understand ourselves more deeply, we can understand that other things are actually priorities to us. So there can be something like that that's happening in the process too, on like a psychological level right now. This feels like it had been coming down to like what you're going to feel happiest with at the end of the day. And what is that legitimately for you versus what may seem like it is, but then you're not really going to feel that in a deep way. So that can also be something that you were trying to figure out too. Like long term, what am I going to feel happy with as far as a choice that needs to be made here? And I just think in general, this can feel like a lot like you're going to have to be like really coming to terms with things on the feeling front that feels like frankly really difficult to do. I think just because of how like different everything is going to look. And there can be some anxiety about you actually choosing yourself and making a choice that's going to be reflective of you choosing yourself. Regardless of what the choice is, it's going to come from a place potentially of you choosing yourself. So like what path is that then when you choose yourself? And you can feel too that if you do make the choice that is reflective of you choosing yourself, that you feel a sense of hope, and that is the path that feels connected with your sense of purpose, your sense of belonging. A path that feels healing rather than harmful. Okay, so also I'm seeing like part of the challenge of this is a social one as well. So there can be maybe a lot of stuff having to do with your relationships more than one, because this can be something like these people have this opinion on this, and now this person's giving me this advice. So there can be stuff socially that you have to navigate that's part of you doing this, and that can be something that feels really challenging because you may have to be transparent as well with things, and that can like just in general be something that feels difficult to do because you know everybody has an opinion. So I'm actually seeing you be clear on what you want to do. I think it's just a matter of you actually doing it now at this point. Because I feel like you've gotten to the conclusion of what path means what for you, and now it's just a matter of choice. It's just a matter of you taking action. But I do get like something was going on where I feel like you were avoiding doing this. You were avoiding making this decision. So there's definitely something that's been going on for sure that you may not have felt great about, but you could have just felt like you weren't ready. But I do see something that like maybe you feel a little bit guilty about, or you don't feel good about, or there's just something that I'm seeing had been going on where there was avoiding making this choice that needed to be made. But now at this point, I feel like you're ready to confront it. So looks like movement is ready to happen now. And that's going to feel like a weight is being lifted off you too. I think like spiritually is what this feels like. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting and tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.